Welcome back to the shed. Lathe's all cleaned up, come up pretty well. Fortunately it was bought cheap because there's just a couple of issues, and I'll bring you in and show you those in a minute. Lathe cleaned up well, degreaser, WD-40 and lots of elbow grease. Ways look really good. Just gave them a little Scotch-Brite with some WD-40 as lubricant. They look really good. The whole lathe was just full of grease and swarf stuck in it, and I've cleaned all that out. They come up really well. My level of excitement's still pretty high. I now need to find some replacement parts, which could be a little bit challenging, but these lathes, called precision lathes, were made in Taiwan and then sold under a multitude of names, including perhaps a very similar one that Grizzly sell in the States. So the Glen brand is of no consequence. It's Lamb, L-A-M, and it was sold out of Taiwan, and then every man his dog rebadged them. So let's come and have a look at the parts that are no good or parts that need replaced. Back in the workshop proper now, and parts of lathes spread out all over the place. Now it turns out that the 3-jaw chuck might be correct. In my searching on YouTube for videos of how to get the apron off, the odd 3-jaw chuck with a backing plate was on several lathes of the same brand, so that was interesting. Chuck is in good nick, just needs a really good clean up. Solid Scotch-Brite, get rid of all the corrosion. The tailstock cleaned up really well and looks good. Here's the culprit. Of course, it had to be the hardest bit to get to. Can't be the simple bit. 2 gears in the back of the apron. One is galled and the other is very worn. Let's see if I can turn this round for you. Well, let's come in nice and close. And this is the gear that handles the longitudinal feed of the whole slide. And you can see that right there, it is galled and it is no good, and there's no point in putting that back together. Now this little worm gear here as well is really worn and a bit mushed in places. It might do, but while it's off it needs to be replaced. Found a guy on YouTube that replaced it with a Grizzly one, and he gave the model and everything. The Grizzly one was keyed just as this one is, and this one should be pinned and this one's pinned, so it tells me this might have been replaced before, because keyed it should not be, pinned it is. That's interesting. I think I'll order a Grizzly one and see if I can get it to fit. And this little sucker right here, well, that might take a bit more effort. I'll have a search through the Grizzly catalogue and see if it's the same or it could be adapted. Nice to have a project in the shed. Wish it wasn't quite this big, but fortunately it was bought pretty right, and then, you know, that makes you feel a little bit better about it because it justifies a bit of work. Bring you back when I've got more to tell you. Have a great day.